Hey guys, it's Sarah, the owner and creator of Multifarious Nature. Thank you for joining me again today if you are a returning viewer, and if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me. Please feel free to subscribe below and hit the little bell notification. That way you'll be notified when I post new videos. I mainly talk about the yarn that I dye and items that I put in the shop. However, I do like to just talk about other fun yarn things and things going on in my life. So if you find that interesting and you'd love to join in, please feel free to subscribe and definitely comment below. I love to hear from you guys and keep the conversation going. So let's just dive right in, shall we? So shop update. My shop update is not really made items like the yarn. It's actually going to be a project I'm working on. So I'm working on a commissioned piece. Actually 2 commissioned pieces from someone, and I'm very excited to talk about it. And she gave me permission to, so I'm really excited just to dive into it. So this is a really ambitious project that I'm aiming here to complete within 2 months. And of course, it's not going to take me that whole 2 months. It's just the time each day that I can allot to working on it. So mainly I've been just working on these 2 projects. Not so much my selfish knitting, but I am definitely enjoying this. So let's dive into the first one. So the first one is a shawl. It's the Carolina shawl. And I mentioned it, I believe I mentioned it as my last podcast, but I haven't worked on it yet. And I just got the yarn and it's gorgeous, guys. So I haven't ever ordered from yarn.com, and that's actually where I purchased this yarn from, and I was pretty impressed. Well packaged and really nice yarn. I think this is yarn that they have an affiliation with, and this is all purchased by me, all of the items that are shown to you or gifted. So not an affiliate, I don't get anything from this. So but Valley Yarns is the brand. It's getting kind of blown out, but so the colors that this shawl is going to be is beautiful deep gray. That's the main color. And I've gotten a lot done on it, guys. I've been working on this a lot. I just want to cram it in as much as I possibly can throughout the week because I want to finish this for that individual. I'm super excited to get it to her, and I know she's super excited to receive it. So here I am so far. Actually have a lot done, but I have a lot more to do. This is a bulky weight yarn that I'm using. You can see all the unwoven in ends. They will be woven in, so this will look nice and finished when it's done. But you can see it's just a beautiful deep gray. And it's bulky weight, so that's why it's working up so quick. Of course, this is the beginning as well, so it builds very quickly. Of course, the further out you go, the more stitches there are. So I am working up to quite a few stitches here, and then I will be adding stripes. But the base color is this beautiful dark gray, and there's some lace work. I guess you can see it a little bit better there. So there is lace work down the spine, and then there is lace work down the edging. And you can't really see it too well on the edging because it's not been blocked, but it definitely is there. So very excited. Super, super soft. So like I said, this I think is yarn by that company, yarn.com, Valley Yarns. It's the Webb's American Yarn Store. I can't remember exactly where they're out of. Oh, there we go, Massachusetts. So they're out of Massachusetts, and these are the other 2 colors. So the main color is that beautiful gray, and then we're gonna have this beautiful red. It's a nice deep red, it's gorgeous. And this nice navy. And these are merino blends, so merino and acrylic. The person I'm making this for is sensitive to wool, and so I had her kind of test out some different types of wool and see what she thought. And merino, which I find as well, because I'm kind of sensitive to scratchier yarns, like rustic yarn. I found merino to be an amazing alternative, and it is considered a fine wool, really not only fine as in the fiber itself, but it's just, it's very high quality wool. So it's beautiful and very soft, very, very soft. So I was super excited when I got this to squeeze it and feel it, and it's very soft. So I'm excited about that. So that is the Carolina shawl that I'm working on, a commissioned piece. And then the other commissioned piece that I'm working on for the same individual is, let's see here, they are arm warmers. They're cabled arm warmers. And I am using merino. This is by Cascade Yarns. It's a very well-known brand. You can find in most yarn stores. I would have purchased my yarn from a local yarn store, but I needed a very high volume of the colors quantity-wise, and I just didn't think I could even find that much at a local yarn store. So I needed 10 of the gray in the bulky weight yarn. So that's why I went online, and so that's why I bought this also online. I'm sure I could have found it in the store because it's Cascade Yarns, but figured I'm already paying the shipping, so might as well just buy it on there. So this is Cascade Yarns. It's 100% merino. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a red, the red shade they have. It's called True Red. It's the name of it, and it's just so pretty and it's so soft. And I don't know if you can see it. Gotta get some contrast in here, guys. Although my light is so bright, you can't see the cabling. How crazy is that? Let's see if I get up closer. There you go. So now you can see that cabling a little bit. I have this new light, and I'm still trying to figure it out, guys. We'll get there eventually. This is my second time using it, so please give me some grace. But you can see there's cabling here. And that's going to go around the hand. And there's the provisional cast on here, because what I'm going to do is basically this is going to be go around the hand, and then it's going to be grafted. So that's when you, there's a couple different ways of doing it, but the grafted or, what's it called? There's the T. I can't think of what it's called, but basically it's like grafting, where you're going to be creating the stitch work down, so it creates basically an invisible seam for that. So that should be really nice for her. So that is that for the cabled arm warmers. And oh, and I didn't mention the name of this. Okay, so yeah, it's Valley Yarns, but there's actually a name for it. So it's the Haydenville Bulky. I so far recommend it. I cannot attest for the wearability of it, durability, but for the softness, it's super soft. There is no scratch to this whatsoever. So if you are someone who is sensitive to wool, I highly recommend testing out merino. What I recommended to the individual that is commissioning this work from me, I recommended she go to a local yarn store. I just said Hobby Lobby because they have a wide variety of yarns there with different types of blends, wool, merino, silk, cotton, and just to cotton usually you're probably going to be okay, but with the wools, just to take it, and I know stuff going on in the world, but this should be okay. Just rub it, or not even rub it, just hold it against your neck, because that's a very sensitive area, and mainly when you wear garments, that's where you're probably gonna itch, or if you have any sensitivity. And I just told her, if you feel any sensitivity whatsoever, we'll just take that material off the table and not use it. So she definitely gave the A-okay for merino, which I fully support because I love merino and I have not found any issues with it as far as sensitivity goes. So I've made a few items with merino so far. So that is the Carolina shawl and the cabled arm warmers. And I'm calling that a shop update work in progress because it's commission work for Multifarious Nature. So I think that fits into that category. Next is work in progress of fun stuff for me, which is just for me, selfish knitting. I only have one project on the needles right now that's selfish knitting, because I really do need to focus on that commission work, because I do want to get it done and to her in a reasonable amount of time. But I have been working on my Leander shawl on my lunch breaks. So this is where I was at last week. Right about here. And not super far, because I've been doing some in lunch, so I only get a couple rows in every day, so not a lot done on it, but you can see this really cool stitch patterning going on. So enjoying it, so enjoying it. And then, oh, it's getting blasted. Blasted out. It's such a nice bright color, and it's so bright outside. But this is, yeah, that gray. I've now transitioned completely from gray. I was doing the alternating the gray and this beautiful variegated yarn from Hobby Lobby. And the Delish Boutique in Plum Bunny. But you'll find I talk a lot about Hobby Lobby, and we do have other yarn stores here. It's just that my sister, actually, I guess this is a disclaimer, but it's a gift, so it's not like I'm not sponsoring them, but my sister works for Hobby Lobby, so I do get quite a bit of yarn gifted to me from Hobby Lobby, because that's where she gets it from. So this is Hobby Lobby, this is so beautiful, and the gray was also from Hobby Lobby, so I did that alternating, and now I'm just going to be using the tonal moving forward, because this is all I have left of my gray. Mission accomplished. I wanted to go through the yarn that I had, and I've gone like, this is all I have left, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe a little ornament or something. Maybe I'll like try to use that in an ornament. I don't know. I just hate throwing out yarn, so I just want to use it in something if I can. So maybe like socks, or I don't know, something. But pretty easy pattern so far. It's a little tedious because it's very small. The needle size is very little. What needle size is this? Gosh darn it. It's on here because they're Chiago and they are engraved, but it's just so little. Oh, there you go, 3, size 3. So that's the 3.25 millimeter. So it's a very small needle, as opposed to the first time I've ever worked with size 11 for that shawl. So that's why it's working up relatively quickly. So very excited about that. But this one is the polar opposite. This is size 3. I think the size 2 is the smallest needle I have in my set. So it's a pretty small needle, and takes a lot longer to get distance on this. So that's why I haven't made it super far on it, but getting there. Next, semi-selfish knitting type thing is, I'm actually frocking a sweater. So I made a sweater, I crocheted it 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And it was huge. Okay, so I did do a swatch, sort of. And it seemed correct. My gauge seemed correct. However, when I finished, and I don't know why, for the life of me, guys, I don't know why I didn't try it on, because I'm pretty positive it was a top-down knit. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. It was crocheted in pieces, so it was the front, back, and then the sleeves. So I should have held the panels up to myself and like really thought about it, because I think I remember holding it up to myself, but I must have held it like way up, not accounting for the fact that the seam was going to be here and not like back here. And the short of it is the sweater ended up being like a dress, very big, and then the sleeves were very fitted, like almost too tight at the top, like where the seam is. So I had it for, like I said, I think I finished it like a year and a half ago. And I never wore it. I never wore it. It sat in a bag, hidden away, and it's not that I would have worn it if it hadn't been in that bag. I just literally had no desire to. And I tried it on again a couple months ago, and I was like, nope, I am just not going to wear this. At some point, I will frog it. I told myself that, and we've been going through, like, just going through items in the house and going, do I need this? You know, that kind of thing. And I frogged it. I'm beginning to frog it. So I've been taking it apart, and I've got some larger ones like this. I do need to wash it to get rid of all the little waves, because I mean, it has been knit up or crocheted up for a year and a half, not being worn, and so it has some nice crinkle going on, and I don't really want that with the knitting. It's acrylic. It's just 100% acrylic. But I had bought a lot for it, a lot of yarn. And so I still have a bunch of yarn to take apart. But I made some boo-boos when I was taking it apart. I think I cut in the wrong spot on a few of the seams. And I cut the yarn, like not the seaming yarn, but the actual sleeve. So I have some large skeins like this, like a normal size skein. And then I have some like medium. And I have some minis. So I have a couple minis and like an itsy bitsy teeny weeny, and then I've got, you know, medium, and then I've got, like I said, full size. So I'm going to take that all apart and wash it, and then leave it skeined up, because that's, at least to my knowledge, is probably the best way to store your yarn if you're not going to use it for a while, because I don't know what project I'm going to use it in yet. I have a pretty good idea, but I'm not 100%. And so I've saved it. I have saved this yarn to live and go on another day in a sweater that I will wear because I just don't want it sitting around. And I wasn't going to donate it because I'm going to use that yarn. I do donate many items of clothing and stuff that I own. If I am not finding enough of a use for them, someone else will. And the yarn, I kind of covet yarn, especially if it's something I can use. So I actually have a bunch of another type of yarn that I also, so for some bizarre reason, after I finished that other crocheted sweater and it was way too big, I decided, I don't know why, but I decided I'm gonna make another one, the exact same sweater in a different yarn, and yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And I had about just the front panel done on it, and I stopped, and I'm so glad I did, because I don't want to make that sweater again. I never wore it, and I just can't imagine that I'm gonna like it. I don't know. I like the texture, like for sweaters, I like the way it fits me, and I like the texture of knitted garments versus crocheted. If it's a cardigan, I do have a cardigan that I crocheted, and I do wear that quite a bit, and I do quite enjoy it because it's like a big blanket. It's like a dolman sleeve, and has little puffs on it, and I showed it, I think, in a previous video with my finished objects that I've done. So I'm going to use this yarn as well in another project. Again, I have an idea of what I might use it in, but I'm not 100% yet. See, it's got these little curly ends, so this just needs to be washed. But I only had the front of the body almost done. So I only had like a skein and a quarter, or a skein and a half crocheted up. So the rest of this, I have 3 more skeins of this beautiful color. It's Karen Simply Soft Yarn Inspirations. It's 100% acrylic again. And it is in Country Blue. I don't know if they carry it anymore. This was again a couple years ago. But it's really soft, super nice, just fun, durable. You can throw it in the wash. I still don't recommend you wash any type, even acrylic, with other garments. I do recommend you hand wash them and lay them out to dry. but they are more durable. They're not going to shrink, you know, like wool will shrink. Don't put your wool in the dryer. Please don't do that. Stop the madness. Unless you're trying to felt it, because that's probably what will happen. All right, enough with my crazy little rant. So an upcoming project that I talked about, and I'm really excited, but I can't touch it until I can't touch it until I finish part of my commission work, because I really need to finish that, and I need to focus on that, because that takes priority. You know, that is for a customer. But when it comes to selfish knitting, which I usually allow myself to do selfish knitting on my lunch break, and the primary reason I let myself do that is because I do record when I crochet and knit. I know a lot of people wonder, okay, so how do you price your items and stuff like that? Well, in the beginning, you know, if you've never done it, you do need to kind of put an estimate. It's your time, and hopefully you stick to that and you don't go over by too much. But basically, it's just like clocking in and out of a job. I write when I start working, and then I write when I stop working, and then I focus on that project during that time, and I'm working on it consistently that whole time. So my lunch break is not very long, and it's not a lot of time. And so instead of, you know, it should be a break when I'm on my lunch break. That's the way I look at it. You know, it's a break from doing something that is for work, be it my day job that I do all, you know, 9 to 5, or actually 8 to 5, or, you know, Multifarious Nature, which is my job that I created for myself. And, you know, between the two, I try to take a break from everything on my lunch break. So that is a legit break. So when I'm knitting on my lunch break, I allow myself to do selfish knitting. So that is what my Leander shawl is, and that's what I'm focusing on. But I do want to start another project. I allow myself to work on 3 projects at a time. This is just for myself. I feel like 4 maybe, but if I go further than 4, I feel like that'll stress me out. Like, it's just too much, because I really like to finish things. When I buy yarn, I usually buy it for a project, work on it, finish it. I don't have a lot of stash, in the sense that I don't just go out and buy yarn to hold on to it, unless it's from the thrift store. If I find something really nice at the thrift store, I will grab it, because it is an amazing price and worth it, totally worth it, and I will find something to make with it, because that's what I do. Most of my stash is actually gifted to me, so either, you know, I've been very fortunate that, you know, my mom, my sister, and my additional mother, my mother-in-law, they all love to give me yarn, and I love it. So I have a lot of yarn from them. So I mean, I don't have projects for that yarn yet, but that's what the Leander yarn was. That was gifted yarn. And this yarn I did purchase for a project, and it will be the project coming up, excuse me. Oh, the project coming up that I will be doing after I complete one of my projects. So I'm almost done. I actually didn't show you part of it, because I promised the person that commissioned the work that they would see the finished items before I show it on my channel here. So I did actually complete one of the cabled fingerless gloves, but I only showed you the one that I'm currently working on. So once I finish the second one, that will be a finished project, so I can have another project that I can cast on, and that's what this yarn is going to go towards. So I bought some more yarn from yarn.com, again, a higher bulk, multiple, and unfortunately, okay, so let me focus here. One of the, the project I'm going to be working on, there we go, is the Pinewood Sweater by Andrea Yetman, and it's on Biscotte Yarns. You can see it is, oh my word, you guys, hey, that actually kind of worked. It blasted out the pattern, but you can see the picture. Even though this is a free pattern, guys. So, at least at the moment, there's this really cool, if you can see it, yeah, it looks like little trees at the bottom, and then there's this beautiful color work, and it's a cropped 3/4 sleeve, which I love 3/4 sleeves. I wear long sleeves a lot, but I tend to like them coming here, so when I'm doing dishes, and I work with my hands a lot, so be it dyeing, doing dishes, painting, which I haven't done in forever, but painting or, heck, knitting. I don't want things to get in the way of my hands. It'll impede my motion and it will slow me down. So I like 3/4 sleeves. It's actually my preferred length of sleeve. So this will be my first 3/4 sleeve garment that I would have made. And I'm excited. More color work, and I'm really excited about this patterning here that looks kind of like trees, because I haven't done that before. So again, another learning opportunity. I love it. And I get to use yarn that I haven't ever worked with before. Again, excited. So I'm probably going to say it wrong, but there is a podcaster that I've been watching. She's from France, and her name, she's a designer too. Oh dear. I think it's Melanie Hoffman. I'm pretty positive it's Melanie Hoffman. I'm pretty sure. And she does beautiful designs on Ravelry, and I haven't done any of her stuff yet, but it looks gorgeous, and I love her podcast. I love it. So it's very relaxing. She talks about her yarn and patterns she's been working on, and most of the yarn she uses is not even Icelandic, but just rustic wool. She really likes rustic wool, and I think her channel is Madrian. I'm probably not saying that right, but I think it's French. It's her company. But the yarn that she's used is quite a bit in many of her patterns. Excuse me, good grief. It's something I have never worked with, and I could not find this at my local yarn stores. And it's called Plutalopi. I talked about it. Ooh, here we go. I talked about it in, yeah, there we go. Plutalopi. It's Icelandic wool, 100%, and they come in absolutely gorgeous colors, absolutely gorgeous. And this is one of them. This is going to be my base color for my sweater. And the way that I have seen many, when I was doing my research, people work with this, because this is single ply. It's single ply, and it's not spun. It's unspun wool. So it's fascinating. So when you like, if you pull, I don't know if I can even show you this, but if you pull it close together, super strong, and it doesn't break. But if you pull it further apart, it will break and separate. And you can easily, I guess, just because it's rustic, you just spin it, in your hands back together, and then it'll be fine. There's people that seem to, there doesn't seem to be a good consensus on how to knit with this, like from the outside or the inside. I hear a lot of people work from the outside. I'm pretty sure Melanie Hoffman, she works from the outside. So I think that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to go from the outside, because there's less tension than if you're pulling from the center. That's at least what I've heard. Otherwise, if you work from the center, they recommend the people that I've heard that you do that, they pull like a little bit of a distance and they spin it into a ball, and then they have that next to this and knit from that. But as another way of making it stronger, I have seen many people work with this held double, triple, whatever you want to do, with either more Plutalopi or with lace weight yarn. That's what I'm going to do. So I picked up 4 skeins, or plates. I guess this is called a plate. It comes in plastic wrap like this. So it's a little plate of the yarn, and this is Deep Woods. I the name of it, pretty sure. Or Dark Woods, Dark Woods. And it's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. It's nice, neutral, very rustic looking. It is a rustic wool, so but it's just so pretty that it looks that way, and it has this beautiful reddish brown running through it as well. I'm just so excited to see how that not only knits up, but just how it looks in general with, because you saw there's color work in that sweater, right? So this is the yarn I'm going to use for that pine wood sweater. So this is going to be the base color, and I'm going to combine it with this beautiful, this is more of, again, Valley Yarns. So this is that brand that I'm pretty sure is by Webb's American Yarn Store. It's 100% baby alpaca. Oh my gosh, I love alpaca. I know some people are sensitive to it. I'm so grateful that I'm not. It does not bother me, which is shocking. I think my skin got less sensitive as I got older. A lot of people, it goes the opposite way. But as a kid, this kind of stuff would just make me itch like crazy. And now I can wear it. I'm so grateful. So I'm going to combine these, hold one strand of this with one strand of this, and knit that color. So I'm excited about that because it adds the strength of the it has the strength of the woven, because this is like, I think, 2-ply. It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 2-ply yarn. So it adds the strength of that, so that, especially since I like to knit continental, not English. So there is a tendency, at least they say, that if you do knit continental with this, you can make your gauge a little too tight and then it breaks a lot, which it's fine in the process because, again, like I said, you can easily get it back together and knit it up, no problem. And it's very strong when it's knit up because, right, the tension is in short spurts, and that's where it's strongest. But it's when you're doing knitting and you're pulling like a long amount like this, that's where it would break. So if you hold it double with this, and then also when you're weaving in your ends, it's easy to break it. And if you have it held with this, it's gonna make it stronger. So I got, like I said, like 4 plates of this for the main color, and then 3 of this color, which is bark in that alpaca. So pretty, so pretty. And I think that will go so well together. Like I said, you can never tell when you're looking at the website. I mean, you guess, and I have to say, their coloring and their photos for yarn.com, excellent photos. Very comparable. The colors look the way that they are when I saw them online. So props to them for that, because that can be very difficult. And then the other color for the color work section is going to be, it's also Plotalopi, and it's Plum Heather is the colored way. I love purple. I love reddish purple. And it's just a color that complements me well. I have brown hair, brown eyes, purple. Purple is a good color on me. So it's beautiful. It's a nice deep purple, and then it has red. It's probably that reddish brown colorway, like colors of yarn, hair going through it, and you can kind of see it in here. Yeah, there it is. And I'm going to combine it. There's not, of course, as many of these. I think I ordered 2 of these because it's just a hair over one that I think I'm going to need. And then I ordered burgundy of the alpaca to hold with it, and I think that's going to be perfect because it picks up the reds. And this you won't really see probably too much in the knitting. But yes, I am super excited about this. My first experience with rustic yarn was the one using yarn I'd found at the thrift store, and that worked so well on my big comfy sweater. So I'm really excited about that project. So once I finish those fingerless gloves, I am definitely going to cast that on and start working on it, and I'm very excited because it's another learning opportunity using yarn I've never used before. Actually, both I've not ever used 100% alpaca. and we're gonna hold those together and see how it goes, and I'll keep you guys posted to the progress on this and just how I'm enjoying it. A lot of people seem to enjoy that yarn, that Flotolopi, which I'm probably saying it wrong, and if I am and you know how to say it, please comment below and let me know. Yeah, English is my first language, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher every foreign language. So that is pretty much it. Oh yeah, and it's the Valley Yarns Hatfield is the type of yarn. It's alpaca. It's Hatfield. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Very, very soft. I'm super impressed with the yarn from this yarn.com. Super impressed. I want to shop at my local yarn stores, of course, first, but if I need bulk, which of course a lot of sweaters and stuff you do need bulk, I would definitely buy from them again. I'm very impressed. So super excited. Those are what I'm working on right now. So I'd love to hear what you guys are up to, you know, what you're working on, projects, creative workings, any fiber goodness. I'd love to hear about it, and I hope you guys are happy, healthy, and I definitely hope you're creating. And please share below about anything you're creating, because I love to hear about it. If you hear crazy noise in the background, that's my husband trying to fix things, so bear with me. It's subtle, but he's working around the house right now, so I'm just trying to fit this in when I can. So again, I look forward to chatting with you guys later in the week. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Take care. Bye.